Morning.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us bright and early in Coventry. Much appreciated. Ahead of match day -1 tomorrow against South Africa. And Anton, we'll begin with you.
Hello both.
Hi.
Sarina, first we'll start off with the squad update. Obviously you were saying hoping that Fran will be back. Lotta maybe all back from out of concussion protocol. So just how is the squad going into this game?
Yeah, good. So everyone will be on pitch today and train.
Look, obviously Friday night didn't go according to plan. There's been quite a bit of criticism of the way the team played and the team that was selected. How fair is that criticism of the team at the moment?
Well, for me, it actually doesn't matter how fair the criticism is. What we look at is what we wanted to do as a team and how we wanted to execute our plan. We wanted to high press, and at moments, yes, we didn't get that right. And against a top-level team like Germany, we're being exposed. That's what happened. And I think in possession, we lost. We had too many turnovers. That's a really concise summary of it. So that some things I thought went well. Some things didn't go well. Of course, you don't want to get 3-0 down. That's not good. But how we fought back, how we got a couple of things better, I think that's what we're working on. So the compactness needs to be better. The trigger moments when we really want to press and in possession, staying tighter on the ball and hopefully then create more chances. That's what we're working on. And we have 4 friendly games, as I said, all the time. And this is one step. We got lots of information, and tomorrow we go again, and we'll try out things. And then we have even more information. Of course, we go out there to play and win.
You talked previously about the chance to experiment. How likely are we to see changes to the starting 11, different faces tomorrow?
Yeah, we will. You will see different faces tomorrow.
There's a smile on your face. Is that?
Yeah, well, because you want more information. Please tell me how many, and I'm not going to tell you, but you'll see changes. That's exactly what we said. We want to try out things. We want to see players. We want to see connections, and also at the same time, of course, what you want to do with so many games coming after this camp, and some players had before this camp, manage some minutes too.
Obviously, it's the Ballon d'Or tonight. You're one of the people that's shortlisted. Deja vu. A year ago, we were talking about not being able to be there again, and here we are again. It must be an honour to be nominated, but it must be frustrating at the same time again.
Yeah, of course. That's really disappointing because that's a moment to celebrate women's football and to come together as like a whole community of a women's football game and the whole football world, of course. So you want to be there. But we have a job to do, and we're here. So yeah, it would be really helpful if that would be planned on another date.
Georgia, you know I love talking to you, but it's the 3rd time in 4 days since when we've been chatting. Is you talking to the media as one of the more senior players kind of indicative of the fact that things aren't going particularly well, and obviously it's a time where more senior players kind of speak to the press?
I think we're in a position where anybody would be comfortable to speak to you guys. We know that sometimes it can be difficult. It's depending on mood. It's depending on how the game's gone. But yeah, I'm happy to come in. I'm happy to answer some questions. Hopefully put a smile on some faces every now and again. When you ask a difficult question, I like to reply with a bit of humour. So yeah, as long as we can keep the mood as light-hearted as possible, then that's why I'm here.
Right, well, we'll talk about your analysis skills, but for Germany, you said you were going to be in the analysis room and then England conceded 4 goals. So that was in your fault then?
Yeah, I'll take the hit. But to be fair, I did my best to try and recover from the fact that I'd messed up from the beginning. But no, Germany are a top side. We knew that before we were going into it. It was difficult to prepare for because they could have, they would have thrown anything at us. We didn't really know how they would play. We didn't know their shape. They didn't know their formation, and yeah, it took us a few minutes to adapt to what they were doing. I think after 30 minutes we kind of found our feet, we found the shape that we wanted to be in, and obviously that has allowed us to get more on the front foot, allowed us to counter, allowed us to get back to the scoreline that we wanted it to be. As soon as I seen my Bayern teammates score, I thought, wow, I need to pull my finger out here because I am not going back to club with the 2 of them scoring them 3 goals. So yeah, I made sure that I didn't get too much grief when I go back to club. But no, as a whole, I think it's just a massive learning opportunity. I think we kind of gave them that scoreline with the way that we played. Like Sarina said, we gave the ball away too many times, and I think that obviously affected us defensively and affected our defensive shape. So I feel like when we get more comfortable on the ball, we can continue to take risk, but we can't start the game by taking too much risk.
And finally, Georgia, I suppose, I'll talk to Sarina then about the criticism that the team faces when they lose. but obviously we expect a lot from this England team given everything they've achieved over the last couple of years. Is that expectation too high at times?
I think when the expectation is continuous, it's probably not able to, we're probably not able to live up to it. I think it's inevitable that at some point you're going to plateau. And I feel like we've been with Sarina for 2.5, 3 years, and we're going to get to a point where we can't continuously win because teams are going to figure us out. Teams are also getting better. Teams are pushing, and that's where we've got to work together to be able to reinvent ourselves. We've got to work together to be able to change a little bit of tactics, change a little bit of something here and there, just to obviously try and get the one up on the opposition again. So yeah, as much as teams are evolving, we also have to continue to evolve, and we have to continue to make little tweaks to be able to get that one up.
Thank you.
Thanks, Anton. Yep, we'll go to Jeff first.
Sarina, what are you expecting from South Africa?
We're expecting a very physical team, athletic team, moments very unpredictable, and a lot of speed.
And how useful will that be playing against teams from different continents as you sort of evolve this squad moving forward?
Yeah, that's what we want to have in front of us, of course. Different styles of play against us. Of course, that will be a little different than the Euros, but furthermore, as I said, or later on in our journey towards the World Cup, and not having a lot of opportunities to play friendlies, I think this is a great opportunity to play then, like South Africa. So yes, that will be another learning moment for us, and how can we approach that? We've experienced that last year, of course, in World Cup too. So it's really good. Okay, can we dictate the game? Can we stay calm on the ball and playing forward, staying out of the duels, and of course taking out their counter-attacks with the speed they have up front.
You've obviously had a lot of success, only 6 defeats in 3 years, 5 of them in the last, I think, 14 months. And looking at the clean sheets, just 4 in the last 18, how much of a concern is that for you? You've obviously been scoring plenty of goals, but that as a particular thing, is that a concern for you?
Well, I would say that's look at the bigger picture. So the game is improving. We're playing better opponents too, with the Nations League coming on. So we have tough games all the time, which I think is really good because you'll be exposed when you're not doing the things right enough. I do think, of course, you don't want to concede goals. What we're looking at, how do we concede goals and how can we improve on these moments? And sometimes it really starts by keeping the ball. Sometimes it starts with we want to press high, then go in full pressing. Do we have the trigger moments right and we're not too expensive at those moments? So then the tactics come in and we're working on improvements on that all the time.
And Georgia, as one of the more experienced players in the squad, do you look at some of these younger players coming through and see their talents? How excited are you about some of these incredible young players that maybe a decade or so more younger than you that are starting to impress in the WSL and also coming into the international setting?
Yeah, it's really exciting. Obviously I'm away from it a little bit in Germany, so it's really nice when it's on the Lionesses channels, it's on the WSL channels, and I'm able to obviously see it. We've seen the result yesterday from the young Lionesses, which is unbelievable for them to go into the semi-final. I've been there in youth tournaments where it's the best thing in the world, to score in them moments, to play in them moments, for your family to be there. You almost feel like, well, you are a Lioness, and that's before you've made your senior debut, and I feel like, those experiences are massive. I know that when you're coming through the youth age groups, the managers always say only 1 or 2 of you are going to make it into the Lionesses in this room, and I know my age group, there's probably 10 people in the environment at the moment. So I feel like us creating a massive talent pool is so special for us going forward.
Morning both. Georgia, if I just want to start with you, just building on that idea of playing against South Africa, a team that you don't usually get to play, is that really exciting for you as a player to be able to face this type of opposition? And it's not very often, it's usually just in the World Cup.
Yeah, definitely. I've never actually played South Africa, so for me it's a completely new experience. Sarina mentioned then what we're going to experience. She said to stay out of the duels, but I can't 100% guarantee that I'm going to be staying out of duels. But no, I'm just excited for what's going to happen. I'm excited for another game to play. Obviously we've got some work to do, and we want to try and finish the camp on a high.
Yeah, just Sarina, just building on that kind of idea of this criticism maybe building and the landscape of football changing while the teams are evolving, I suppose so's the media coverage and the scrutiny. Do you think that's a learning curve for you and your squad to deal with, as Georgia said, those plateau moments where there might be growing criticism that maybe the game didn't have to front up 2 or 3 years ago?
Yeah, so of course we're so visible, expectations are really high, and yes, we definitely have to deal with that and stick with. We are in our environment every day when we are in camp, so we know what we want to do, how we want to do it, and we know how our execution goes. So and then we say, okay, what went well? What do we have to improve? And that's what we should be working on every single day. And there's criticism from outside, which is all right, but we know exactly what we're working on, where we want to go to. I think from the outside world, it's a bit too much result related. So what would it have been if it would have been 4-4? Then still, of course, there are concerns when we concede 4 goals. So I wouldn't, we always get the bigger picture. Where are we now? This is a friendly game at the highest level, very exciting game. We played to win, they played to win. We came back, stuck together and came back from the setback, and then we go into tactics. That's what we are doing, and we're focusing on that altogether.
Yeah, I know you won't tell us too much, but when you say there will be some changes and different things that you might look at, we saw Lauren Hemp and Alessia Russo play up top together. We've seen Hemp play in the number 9. We've seen you play with the back 3. Are those the types of things that you might try out tomorrow against South Africa?
Yeah, what we really want to do, where the game develops to, is that it's not so static anymore. So you see different shapes in the game all the time. So teams are able now, the top level teams, to change shape in the dynamics, and how then it's of course for us, how do we defend on that? So then you really need to be connected and aligned in moments. And also in possession, we want to be unpredictable too, with the energy, and of course always play to win. But then you have your shape, different shape, the dynamics in that. But that needs a lot of alignment, and that's what so if you change that all the time, we just want to build and build and build to be unpredictable. And of course, play possession game to get behind the defense, to create chances and score goals. That's the purpose of what we do in possession.
Thank you, all the best.
Thanks.
Yeah, we'll go to Susie.
Hey both. Sarina, you said after the match the other day that everything is for building towards July. How do you go about the period from now till then? Like, are you planning February's camp and the kind of things you want to see now, or are you working camp by camp? Do you know sort of what your goal is to get out of each camp as we move towards that date?
Yeah, what we do is we plan the 2nd of July, we have to be ready. We'll have 5 camps, and in these 5 camps we want to develop towards our ideal picture. And that's on pitch, that's off pitch. You do like togetherness is really important for us, being on pitch and off pitch, because we believe that when we understand each other better, we can play better. But also now we know these 4 games, we know where we want to go to them, we get information from the games and from our players, having conversations with them, and then we adapt. So we know where it goes. And of course, on the 7th of November, we have the Nations League draw. So yeah, you can plan a couple of things, but it's also a little bit game related, what we expect for the opponent. So our style of play, and then a game plan, which might have some little different tweaks because of the opponent we play, and we don't know the opponents yet in spring.
And then obviously it's not a huge amount of time until July, so are you set on the sort of squad pool, the pre-existing squad pool that we're looking at, or how much are you looking below that to like some of the under-23s that have never come into the group before and things like that?
Yeah, it all starts with quality. And yes, of course, we're trying to predict, that's hard, but it starts with quality. And of course, people have to show up, like we have some injuries now, hopefully players will come back and perform at the highest level, so that makes you competing for the England team. If we have a squad now, and in July we have 10 different players, that would be a little bit strange, wouldn't it? So we hope some of them will knock on the door and say, okay, I'm ready too. That's also start with, where are you now? Are you have you consistency in performing? And some players are in a different part of their journey, and hopefully some big talents, huge talents, develop so quickly that we think, oh, she's good enough to come in.
And Georgia, obviously it's a bit cliche, but people say that you learn more from defeat than victory. Like, how true is that? How much do you take from the Germany game as a learning experience compared to, say, a more conventional win?
Yeah, we went through some things in that game that we don't want to experience again. Obviously, to be 3-0 down after 30 minutes is, yeah, it's a tough one to take. But I think you can see the strength in the group in the fact that we were able to solve it from then onwards. We were able to try and get more compact. We were able to try and get them more on the counter. We brought the scoreline closer within a matter of minutes. And yeah, it's a good opportunity for us to have difficulties in the game, and then obviously seek advice from the staff to be able to get questions, to be able to get our questions answered, to be able to talk about it. And I think that's the most important thing, is to just try and get as much clarity as we can. Because obviously these are the times when we can afford to lose. We obviously don't want to, but these are the times when we can afford it, because say in 10 months' time we don't want to be sat in the same situation, asking the same questions and being unclear on what we want to achieve.
Thanks, Susie. All best, Katie.
Sarina, Georgia, good to see you both. Sarina, I'll come to you first. Alessia Russo won England's Player of the Year. How would you sum up the year that she's had with the Lionesses?
The year, we just started the year. I think Alessia's on a journey, as we all are. And one of the things, she's really working hard. We're reviewing all these things. And I think if you see the calendar year, when we say the France games to Sweden, I think she was in a very good place. And it goes a little bit still like this. So she's very good moments and moments that we talk about and she wants to improve on. But that's what we're working on every single day. That's what she's working on every single day at club too.
What more do you want to see from her?
Well, I want to see more from the whole team. So also from her. And we have conversations with her. So really in detail on tactics, I don't want to share here. I want to share that with her first and speak about her, and then she can decide what she wants to share about that, because there's a personal conversations.
Georgia, what's she like as an England teammate, both on and off the field?
Yeah, she's a lovely human. Come from a very, very lovely family. She's somebody that you want in your team. She's somebody that cares for everybody 24/7. For me, she's a workhorse. I know that she has. Yeah, I know that she's going through some difficult times every now and again. I know that going to a new club is also different. Being able to adapt to that situation is different. But I know that she's happy where she is, and that's the most important thing. I think as a player, I think she's world class. I've known her since my very first England camp, so we were maybe 14, 15 years old. We've come through the ranks together, and she's always been powerful. She's always been a goal scorer. She's always been a catalyst. You could see the importance of the role that she played in the Euros also. Every single time her and Tooney entered the pitch, they caused absolute mayhem, which is exactly what we wanted. But yeah, she's an unbelievable human, and very lucky that she's a Lioness.
Thanks, Katie. We'll take the final question.
So, hi Georgia, so many Lionesses now are playing overseas. You touched on it the other week, more than ever before really. I was just wondering how, with all these different cultures and experiences, different clubs like, in the NWSL, in La Liga, in France, you in Germany of course, how does Sarina blend them all together to get the best out of all of you?
We're all still English, so we've got that English mentality, we've got the grit of being English, we know what it's like to face adversity, we know what it's like to be real hearty, and I feel like that's what defies us as being English, is whenever we come to an environment we always want it to be competitive, we always want to push each other. We've all got a massive winning mentality, and I feel like that's ingrained with us from birth, and obviously Sarina's here to get that out of us, and she's also got that side of us where she brings the control, she brings the football element, she brings the technical, tactical element, and the way that we can put it all together is just by our characters.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So
Anton's asked
I
one more.
Susie, that's right. Talk about squad planning, Sarina. We're 6 weeks away from the draw. Are you planning for a 23 or 26 player squad for the tournament? Do you know how many players?
At the moment, I'm planning on 23.
But,
That's
again,
what it
with
is on the
the men's performance, we seem to see 26 a lot more.
Yeah.
Is
That's not that. I don't have any other news on that. Then it's for now. It's 23.
Thanks.
Cool. Thanks all. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.